afternoon.
everybody. Oh, hey, you're live.
We have
That is fortunate. We have him back. I was about to say we don't, but Cyberwaste has made his tremendous entrance. Welcome back, Cyberwaste.
welcome to the show. I have risen from the grave and the myriad of technical issues on my local end, and we are bringing you an absolute corker, Dreamboat and myself, Cyberwaste. Good afternoon, everyone, to the FACEIT Major Oceanic Open Qualifier between Tainted Minds and Order. And we have a very, very juicy matchup ahead of us, Dreamboat, and we'll break it down in the interim.
Absolutely. I mean, these two teams, they have played 22 matches against each other. It's 11-9 in favor of Tainted Minds. So 20 matches with 2 overtimes. I'm not very smart. I can't
Indeed.
math.
Yeah, well, I actually broke it down earlier. This is going back to October 10, 2017, where Order were known as King's Gaming Club, with their core minus Alistair, who was Wizard at the time. And they've only had 2 overtime matchups, which they split 1 map apiece. It was Tainted Minds, I believe, on Overpass, and then Order on Train, if memory serves.
Was Train, and the thing is that wasn't that long ago either. That was only, a couple months back. And that was a really good series that Order managed to take. So not only is it the fact that we've hit overtime there, it was a recent overtime. And that said, it did kick off a recent string of Order dominance. We'll see if Tainted Minds can do anything to break that.
Indeed, and it will be something to keep an eye on, because Tainted Minds being on a hot streak would be an understatement. Their current record in this open qualifier in total is 64-1 across 4 maps and 4 matches. And that's unheard of and absolutely insane. And a 16-0 on Dark-Sided to get into the semis, which is insane. And a huge contrast to how Order got here into the semis. In the quarters, they played against Greyhound on Train, which they couldn't figure out in regulation, and they ended up going to overtime, and they got the better of Greyhound 19-17, which really begs the question as to how the bracket actually shook out from the very start, because it was there were a lot of high caliber matchups very early on in the piece.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of a shame that that's the way that the bracket kind of sorted out, but at the same time, it does give a few other teams the opportunity to make it. But we're in a spot where only one of these two can make it, which is absolutely insane considering they're 2 of the finest that Australia have to offer.
Indeed, and especially hot off the heels of IEM Sydney, which was basically a huge showcase for not only Australian crowds but for Australian Counter-Strike. Order actually went to 3 maps against the defending major champions Cloud9. They ended up losing that in a very heartbreaking set, which, if anybody remembers, yeah, sorry, I've just accidentally opened a wound. But it's definitely shown the teeth and the caliber of the Australian Counter-Strike scene and the scene at large in the Oceanic region, and I hope and pray that we put that on display for you all today.
Absolutely. I love Australians. I like to see that pride that they have, and we'll see how they manage to duke it out. I do think that, despite the recent run of dominance Order have had, they have won a significant portion of the maps. In fact, they've won 7 out of the last 8 times these two teams have met. I do think that there's a very reasonable shot for Tainted to pull this out. They're quite a good team. They have a lot of good players. They've performed quite well, and some of these maps have been quite close. So I do think Tainted Minds have a chance. I think more realistically, Order are going to take it, but Tainted, might be able to push this to 3 maps, might be able to take it overall.
Well, I'll be quite frank with you, Dreamboat. This is the epitome of a coin flip in terms of a head-to-head. You have 11-9, which is slightly weighted towards Tainted Minds, but these two do definitely have a history. Tainted Minds is coming in off a hot streak, and it's is going to go to 3 maps. I'm almost certain of that. I'm very confident in that. And we could see it not be decided in regulation. We could see some extra rounds in this set, and I think it would be only right for that to happen.
Only right, indeed. And we are just waiting for, of course, the pick bans on these maps to come in. It's figuring out what we will be playing. Train and Dust 2 have been the first 2 bans, but we're waiting to see, you know, where the picks go, what comes in next. They are absolutely thinking this over. They don't want to, you know, get into the bad map for them. Just overpass in a ban. Inferno out as well. Which means that our 3 maps will be Mirage, Nuke, and Cash. Damn.
Great.
Damn.
Well, Nuke has been seeing a lot more play, which we saw on display earlier. Yesterday in Coin of the Bracket at the broadcast, we saw that from Order, which they showed a lot of grit and a lot of knowledge for the new Nuke, with a couple of the changes in amongst the vents and the sites. So it'd be cool to see how these two juggernauts actually come to blows on that map.
Yeah, new Nuke could really be a toss-up. It's not that common one. The last time they actually played it, Order that is, it was the 1917 game versus Greyhound. And the last 2 times these teams played it, though, Tainted didn't look so good. It was a 16-1 for Order. But again, that was a few months ago. That was before the changes. We'll see if it changes things up. That's at our first map will be Cash, which last time these 2 teams played each other on it was 16-11 for Order. Time before that, though, 16-10 for Tainted Minds. So they split it. They seem to both be comfortable on it, and we'll see who manages to pull this one out.
Indeed. And the players I'd be keeping an eye on for both sides, there's Offnu for Tainted Minds. He's a dude I'll be keeping an eye on. And also a dynamic duo on the side of Order being Liaz and Hats. They always seem to play together and play well together in the most literal sense. They always seem to be playing a side in a pair, or playing defense in a pair, or just basically one being the mid shield for the other.
Gotta love a good old meat shield, am I right? It's always kind of fun when you have a guy that you're that comfortable with, too.
A buddy who will literally take a bullet for you, or in this case, damage exchanged.
But yeah, we are just currently waiting for Connect Info to pop up here. We should be getting into this, you know, pretty soon, now that we have the map bans coming down. I, of course, am Dreamboat, joined by Cyberwaste. This is CappingTV, bringing you the FACEIT Oceanic Minor Qualifiers. We're into the semifinals. This is, of course, Order versus Tainted Minds. And we'll see whether Order's great run so far will continue, or if it can be tainted by the Big Brain team.
Well, the Big Brain with a giant exposed crack in their skull, if their logo is any indication. But I'd want to touch on this again. A 64-1 run in this entire tournament for Tainted Minds thus far. No matter how you slice it, it is an insanely impressive effort. And I highly doubt that will continue. We will see a lot of stiff resistance from Order. And given how often these 2 teams have come to blows, as recently as April 16, for the qualifiers for IEM Sydney, you can't really fathom how insanely high of a caliber these 2 teams are and how stiff the competition will be.
Yeah, I mean, when you have 2 teams that are familiar with each other, comfortable duking it out with each other, anything can happen. You know, especially when it's something that there's so much on the line here. Like, both of these teams want to make it to that minor qualifier. They want to make it to the major. They want to get their stickers. Like, wouldn't you love to have some of these guys' stickers in game? Wouldn't you love to buy them? Or, you know, something cool like the Tainted Minds logo. That's what they want. That's part of what they're playing for. because they are playing to get to the FACEIT major. All eyes will be on them if they get there. And the quest is their biggest challenge so far, at least for Tainted. Order did have a pretty big one in Greyhound.
Yeah, it still is such a shame that we only see these two teams go into the semis and amongst the huge heavy hitters that was so stacked on one side of the bracket. I still can't believe we ended up getting Greyhound and Order in the quarterfinals in a best of one map to decide everything. It still boggles my mind, to be quite frank with you, and it still is such a shame that we won't see Greyhound stickers either, because I am a bit of a fan of their logo. Speaking of which, do you have a logo of choice in amongst the teams on offer?
Oh, I don't. It's tough. Like, a lot of teams have some pretty solid logos. I gotta like the Tainted Minds zombie. That's kind of cool looking. But yeah, I'm not too sure there. How about you? Other than Greyhound, as you mentioned.
Well, yeah, sadly. Also for Dick, signature stickers for Dick Stacy, they would have sold like hotcakes. But either or. Personally, I'm a bit split. Tainted Minds definitely has a logo that sticks out. Like, you have the exposed zombie brain, which is really cool. And they also have skids in Call of Duty because of their team that represented them at the World Championship. But I'm a fan of the Order logo and its simplicity. And I think it could actually go on pretty much anything because it's black and it's sleek and it's simplistic. And I'm a huge fan of that. Well, depending on the design that they go with, of course. All right, well, we're waiting for the players to file in. We have 8 of 10 at the moment. Our first map will be Cash, which, as we mentioned, is a pretty even battleground with one map won apiece for each side after the 2 times that they've played through it.
And we are just, of course, waiting for if GoTV is up. I have not received it, so I'm looking for it. And there it actually is. I've just received it. So that means I can actually get in here, and we'll get closer and closer to casting this.
I'm alone in the server. Please come and join me. We do have all 10 in the server, though, and we're just waiting for the formalities to go down, and the knife round will commence.
No. We're clearly waiting for me to get there. I'm the most important part. Right?
Yeah, sure. Well, you are the Dreamboat. Everybody has to part the seas and part the side. But regardless, we have the knife round for this best of 3 series between Tainted Minds and Order for the FACEIT Asia Minor Open Qualifier powered by FACEIT. And I will run you down your starting lineups. On the side of Tainted Minds, we have Yam, Inns, Zusi, Burn, and Ofnu. And on the side of Order, we have Alistair, Sicko, Imagine, Hats, and Liaz. And we have Order being your defenders and Tainted Minds being your attackers.
And that is where we stand as we are getting right in here into the first pistol. We do see Tainted Minds. It looks like they're going to be putting a lot of pressure towards the A bomb site. Look at the setup, though. They just have Imagine spotting from Truck, and it's a very fast hit. It's almost like these two teams know each other as Imagine gets gushed up. A site has fallen. Bomb will go down, and now we're into the spot where it'll be a 5-on-5 retake.
That is even as you could ask for. Only Imagine has taken damage, and he fell all the way away as soon as he spotted the Death Squad running in through A main. Still at a deadlock, Yam looking towards the T-spawn, tagging up Alistair quite heavily. May have made him a little bit unawares, but the rest of the CTs have swarmed into the A site through the positions. Hat has gotten 2! Ofnu was able to reply, but it's compared to it. Liaz has gotten 1. Sicko has gotten 1 as well, and now Yam is the only man left standing. He will have to get 3 frags. Sicko was on it. Not to be. The bomb will go boom! And in amongst that sugar pill of a previous 30 seconds, Tainted Minds will take the opening round with one left standing.
Man, that looked a little bit hairy there coming down to it, but yeah, managing to come back, gets, the kill on the guy on site, refuses the plant, and Alistair with 1 HP had no time left in that one. Beautifully done by the Australian legend in Yam. And now we're into the second round. We just do see pistols coming up here from Order. They're going to want to try and do some damage, not let Tainted get their economy too under them. We'll see how Tainted elect to try and take. Looks like B right now is where they got the pressure going to, and maybe they don't expect Alistair so close.
Maybe. Ins on top of the red container will shred up Imagine, but he does take a lot of damage in the process. So early man advantage for Tainted Minds, but they still will have to be wary. And they will have to get in close. There is not a single actual rifle. Alistair behind the box, though. So silent. So deadly. He will be the deadliest Jack in the Box if he ends up jumping someone, and that is exactly what happens. Alistair will pull out Yam. Liaz and Sicko will claim one apiece with a sick one being from Sicko. Thank you very much. And it's all falling apart for Tainted Minds. And hats, I tip my hat to you, sir. And 2K from him to put a bow on the round, and we are level at one apiece. And now, Tainted Minds, how do you plead and how do you reply?
Yeah, it's absolutely devastating round, really, for Tainted, just getting dismantled by Order so quickly and efficiently. Now Tainted are just going to be sitting on Glocks. They're not going to try and force this up. They're going to wait and get AKs back into it. And it looks like they're kind of gathered around Boost right now. And oh, the nades! Sicko getting a 3K off the assists from Imagine as the airstrike onto Boost connect for a trio of nades. Beautifully done there. Hats now with the M4 is going to find the last 2 kills, and that's 2-1 for Order off of lovely nade work.
That is the epitome of a bombing run, and off of my quick math, that was a total of 425 damage from those 2 nades, just off the top of my head. That was insane! Absolutely insane. And now we have the first gun round. We have Alistair on the AWP, which is strange because you usually see Sicko playing those duties, but we do have full rifles coming out from Tainted Minds.
Oh, and Alistair getting erased by Burn, just peeking through Sun, absolutely deletes him. And here's the problem now for Order. They still have 2 UMPs here. They don't have the most weaponry. Laz will drop the MAC-10 to pick up the AWP, but really trying to challenge here. He's in a bit of trouble. And this is looking good for Tainted early in just because they have the weaponry advantage.
Liaz will be caught very hot on his heels. He's not as familiar with the AWP. He is sound with it, obviously, but would much rather be able to palm that off to Sicko. But sadly, Liaz is in an island all on his own. We're going into 1 minute remaining, actually 55 seconds to be more accurate. And the majority of the CT contingent of Order have gathered on the A site. Will Tainted Minds follow suit? With the bomb on the back of Yam and his current positioning, it's very difficult to tell. It doesn't look like that's the case. The B site's been completely abandoned, and once Tainted Minds catch wind of this, the bomb will go down for free. But there is one member in Squeaky that's holding the Order people in place.
Yeah, Zusi's starting to lurk his way out here. He's actually going to find Sick. He'll be traded back quickly, but that's really all that, Order should find here. B-site completely open. Plant's going to go down. And yeah, it looks like Order might want to save here. And that's exactly what they're going to do.
It'd be highly elective. It was basically coming down to a 50-50 where Minds will hit one site or the other, and they just decided to go to the one that was completely empty, just based off of the recon that they were able to muster. But the bomb will blow up very shortly, and we will see Tainted Minds square the ledger and have surviving, barring any engagements, but there is no chance that that is going to happen. And 3 survive for Order, 4 survive for Tainted Minds, and we are squared at 2. And in a very interesting predicament, especially given the economic standing of Sicko at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing for Order in that round is all they really did, they had that big up buy, sure, but they had SMGs on everybody else. That means that their money is still and now we're going to have the first real gun round. They went for a bit of a bonus round, didn't work out for them. And now we should see Order strike right back here at Tainted. As Imagine takes a lot of damage through that smoke. Yam just spraying through. Gets him down to about half health.
Ins took a little bit of a licking from, that would be a HE nade. And Alistair looking towards Sunroom. May come into contact with Burn in due course, but hasn't really seen anything of note as of yet. So nobody's playing their hand. Alistair definitely would have heard that flash go right in front of his face, but it doesn't look like anything will act on it. But the bomb is moving through A main in a bit of a death squad formation with one in Squeaky at the moment. Hats is essentially the only defender until the backup comes, and it looks like Tainted Minds have put on the gas and have started an A take, and now the backup is coming in the form of Sicko.
Yeah, and there is still Hats sitting deep in the site. He's going to be a very strong task for them to try and walk through as the rotations have already come over. Will they check for Hats? They haven't done it so far. Might actually be able to find some kills here. He's going to walk right by Zeusy, though, who finds those. It is a 3v3 as the bomb has been planted. Now the retake is on. Imagines we're running straight forward here. He is the furthest man in. Will he spot ins? He doesn't, but the flashbang's lovely. He gets off to. Knows that there is another player that's Zeusy still alive as ins fell to the AWP. The 2v1 right now. Imagine spraying through, not able to find it. Zeusy might be able to find it. He pulls out the P250 because he's on the op. Sprays through. He gets it. And that is going to be the defuse in a big round for Order.
That is a huge round for Order, and especially with the AWP being carried through. 2k for Alistair and a 2k for Imagine as well, but despite Zeusy's, well, godlike efforts for the 3k on that round, he sadly could not finish it off, and that will bring Order ahead, but only just by a single man surviving. And now we add more pages to it. We see the Deagle on Yam, and the Deagles in Australia, if you are unfamiliar, expect a lot of heads to be popped. They love their Deagles here in Australia, and Yam will hopefully put that to test and prove my point.
Yeah, they are looking to start hitting this B-bomb site. They're slowly inching their way forward. There's, of course, a player in vents, and Alistair is falling back to site. He throws out an op shot. We'll find Bun right now. And Zeusy, Alistair doing a great job defending this. Tags up another player with a P250. Thinks one as well. A lot of good damage done there by the Opper, and that should allow the retake to have a lot bigger potential. There's still Ins full health, but the other two are quite lit up. A little bit of an HE or just a tap with a bullet from an M4 will be all it takes to get those players. We'll see how strong Ins can stand. The bomb hasn't even been planted yet.
It seems that the terror side of Tainted Minds are a little bit wary of where the bomb had been dropped, but it is now on the back of Ins, with him being the high HP player. The digits will be punched in, and now Order will be on the clock. The advantage for Order, though, is the HP by quite some margin. Yam and Ofnu could be considered zombies at this point, but Ofnu at the truck on a huge flank will erase Hats from the server. I think Matt Hardy would. And now we are in a 3 versus 2 in favor of Tainted Minds. And Ins will be cleaning up with the assistance of Yam and Ofnu. And we are.
And we have my co-caster died, or I think I can no longer hear him. Are you back, Cyberwaste?
Hello?
Yeah, you're back.
I got pulled into the void again. That hype was too good. I got pulled away.
It happens, but we do have Order. They've got a bit of an interesting buy here. Lea's is on the M4. It's a full force up, so we have 2 CZs, a Deagle, and a FAMAS being bought up. In thinking that there's not going to be armor on these players, Ins and Zeusy are both on Mac 10s. The mistake being there's full armor across the board for Order, and Tainted could actually be punished for this.
It could be, especially with Alistair and Imagine on those CZs. We know how potent they can be, especially if you watch a lot of competitive play as of late. And Imagine in the boost spot. If he catches Yam off guard, which he will, that'll be a huge wake-up call and maybe a bit of a fun reminder. And the crossfire is still good. Yes, Ofnu took out Imagine, but Liaz was there to avenge him, and now a 3 versus 4 in favor of Order. And now the bomb's so far behind. Tainted Mind's in a little bit of a predicament, but Zeusy may be able to play the magic tricks, play behind the smoke and a little bit of mirrors, and will take Zeusy. Will take out Sicko, as a matter of fact. The wires got crossed there for a moment, but we are fine in the end. The bomb is on the back of Inns, and Liaz does not want to challenge at the moment. It looks like the A site will be seized to Tainted Minds, and now Order will have to make a choice whether to contest or save it. It looks like they're looking to have a go of it. And Alistair coming out of Squeaky will take care of Inns, and now Zeusy and his Mac 10 versus 2 CTs who want to take control of the site once more. And Liaz will put a full stop to that. A full 10-second defuse, but it should come through fine. A 2K for Liaz there. And Order will pull ahead. And the struggle will continue between these two teams, which we alluded to in the pre-show. We wanted this to go to 3, and it has the potential to do so very early on.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the fact that there was armor on all of those players. The MAC-10s just couldn't do the impact that they were hoping or expecting with that. And that results in Tainted dropping the round. A close round, albeit, but still dropping it. Now we have guns. Both teams hindered by a UMP. We'll see how, Magic likes to use that. He's gotten close once again, and he could be in a bit of trouble off of this if they expect him to try it for a second round in a row.
Indeed, and Yam wanted to go for the timing shot through towards Z, but that was unsuccessful, sadly. So, already in a bit of a war of attrition, we're seeing fire being exchanged across towards the... A little bit of damage done on both sides. A little bit more towards Order, but barely so. And the UMPs could actually be a factor now, especially if they engage with those low HP players in the cupping stages. We're coming into 1 minute remaining in round number 8. And Dreamboat, we are sailing on the seas of a potential great game.
Yeah, definitely. Early on, this has had everything that you kind of want. Back and forth, good action, and good amount of buys, with some impressive nade work as well. And now we're just seeing Tainted start to group up, decide where they want to take this bomb. It looks like it's going to be going towards the B bomb site. It's going to be a split through vents, which means that Liaz is going to be an absolutely massive player in this, as is Sicko if he times his peak correctly. But yeah, they are going to come down the vents. They look for Liaz. Liaz finds one. Yam is there looking down from above. All he's going to find is Yam goes for the wall bang, but Sicko in behind. Spots both players up, finds one, finds two. That closes out the round, and Order win another.
Sicko and Imagine pulling for 2K apiece, and I said that the UMP would have to engage close range. No, he stretched it all the way out towards B main to get those frags. And what do you know? Order are starting to break away, and that's forced Tainted Minds to pretty much cop it on the chin. They have not bought a single thing. All they have is Glocks. I wanted to deliver it like they always do, but I can never do it.
Well, and we'll see how these Glocks do at delivering the bomb to whichever bomb site they choose. Looks like they are putting a little bit of pressure towards A just in terms of players, but they're actually falling off of that, undecided where they want to go, as there was a bit of a push through B main. A little bit of information gained, but not quite enough.
I would not be surprised if Tainted Minds just end up grouping up and then performing like a death squad type push towards B main, but Liaz and his MP9 will be there to greet them with bullets. Thanks for coming. And now he's in a 1 versus 5 and only 42, no, a little bit more than that damage dealt in that entire round by Tainted Minds, and now Order double the round score at Tainted Minds, going ahead 6-3 going into round number 10.
Yeah, I mean, Order's got to be feeling pretty good about that. They've done a good job of controlling Tainted's economy, and this would be another big round for them to win, especially if they don't let Tainted plant. There is still Elias. He's got the MP, the money farming, sitting just on the edge of the smoke, and that could do a lot of work. But again, Tainted, they're playing it slow. They're just fanning out, getting some map control before they decide where they really want to hit. And it looks like it'll be probably towards A based on Tom is sitting quite a ways back.
They can't really know, can they? They have to cross all their T's and dot all their I's before they really do anything. Yam gets a little bit of a licking from a nade, but nothing really to worry about. He only took 1 HP. So we're still at a stalemate going into 1 minute remaining, and now the bomb is finally on the move on the back of Ofnu, moving towards B main. And one member of Tainted Minds will be there to assist, and it looks like they're starting to move over and join them in kind. So they're running into crunch time now. Where do they go from here?
Well, the rough spot is they're trying to defend this with Lias on the MC9. Yam gets picked in mid. Imagine's also going to find ins, and that's actually causing rotations towards A. That's a bit of a mistake. Alistair is still here with an M4. And he will have the cavalry start to arrive as they realize it's B. Alistair with a big headshot onto Ofnu. He is looking for more. 2 players trying to push into him. Jumps up. Zusi will get that kill. That means the B bomb site is theirs. They're going to try planting here, but Von actually gets taken out. He peeks out. Will get 1 kill, but he eats the nade from Sicko in order win a 7.
How's that nade taste? How do you feel like eating a bit of shrapnel? 2K for Sicko, 2K for Imagine there, and order a 1 round closer to winning out the half. Ooh,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Sicko also got the 3K with the nade earlier, so that's his 4th nade kill this game.
Yes, and
I wonder what the single map record is.
That's actually something. That's actually a really good question, because nades traditionally do not do that much damage unless they're stacked up, as was demonstrated earlier. They could be absolute pests if they're used to their most efficient caliber. Burn sitting on top of the box with the Desert Eagle in his hand is wanting to greet some of the order members to a 50 active express, but he probably gets shredded by Liaz, so Tainted Minds on the back foot earlier. Looks like the Death Squad's going to collapse in onto the A side. Hans is holding strong thus far. 3 before he's replied to by ins. And Sicko will put a cap on the round. And now Order are in the position to win the half. With 8 to Tainted Minds' 3. And that is 5 on the trot, Dreamboat.
Well, and here's the thing, if you're Tainted Minds, you need to start worrying, because this is a best of 3, and losing this map means that for sure Nuke is being played. Last time you played Order on Nuke, you lost 16-1. That is something you can't have confidence in. So Tainted, they've got to be feeling pressure, because they don't want this to get, they don't want to have to hope that they win Nuke. They need to be able to rely on Cash and Mirage to pull this out.
And let it be noted, they were 64-1 in terms of round score going into this. That properly got quashed. Alistair will open the fragging for round number 12 by erasing Bird from the server. And Bomb is sitting alone in mid. They're playing the recon play. Ofnu is moving up highway towards the A side. There is only 1 defender, that being Imagine, but he's definitely no slouch. I can definitely tell you that. Ofnu getting into a little bit of engagement with Imagine, and will get the better of him, but did take a lot of damage in the interim. And the Bomb not spotted, but definitely sensing a presence. The CT members of Order are starting to move and spread out towards both the sites. Alistair's got a little bit of company as well, maybe caught on the way back by Yam, and he cops a 3-3 at the poo to the chest. Thank you very much. And now the B bomb site is potentially seized by Tainted Minds, but the bomb is on its way to A. Potentially CT's second guess themselves. Inz is definitely caught wind of this. He is moving towards Quad. And Dome's hats in quick order. And the Offner will get 1 on the flank as well. And now it is all on Sicko. So 10 HP versus a whole lot more for Tainted Minds and a seized bomb site. Order may want to tell Sicko, get out while you still leave a parting gift. Taking out Zeus here. 2K for him, but that will be all for naught. The bomb will explode. 2 will be aiming to survive, and that will be a 4th on the board for Tainted Minds. And I think Sicko will survive with his AWP and utility as well as his armor, which will be a crucial piece of utility and inventory moving forward.
Yeah, Tainted really don't have the money that they can even really hunt him on this one. You know, Yam is so broke. Inns maybe could have risked it, but it wasn't worth the risk. So they're going to let Sicko hang on to the AWP. Order, of course, with the money they've built up, are going to be buying right back into this. Now we have really a crucial round because the money isn't great on Order. With their loss bonus, they'll be able to eke out another buy, but this would be huge for Tainted to start breaking their economy.
And even if Tainted Minds ideally would be wanting to claw the rest of them back and make it an even 7-8 half, which basically we alluded to earlier, how even these maps and matches have gone in the past.
Well, looks like it will be an A hit just based on the early pressure. And this might be Tainted moving a bit faster than we've seen so far. Zeus's already running out through this smoke. Hat's here trying to fight this out. There's a couple players more. Hats will actually spot out Zeusy. That's a big first kill. Sicko chiming in with one of his own. They are looking for more. There's still three players here. Smoke comes down. Or Molly, sorry, and Hats is going to burn, but that's not before he gets a kill, and Imagine closes it out. Order only lose one player as they take their 9th round and bring us closer to the end of this half.
And Tainted Minds in all sorts of disarray. Yes, Inns is able to buy, but it'll be scrappy at best. And given we're going into the closing stanza of the half, it'd be wise to not really spend up too highly. That's exactly what they've done. They've just dropped a few pistols around. We have a couple Deagles, a couple CZs, and a P250 on the back of Burn. So will they try to do a full-blown death squad to try bolster the economy for the final round, or just fall into the crosshairs of the Order players? And Alistair will do just that, and a double orb setup as well, which will be very hard to penetrate. But if they can break it, it could be a little glimmer of hope for Tainted Minds. But it's slowly fading, with the manpower dwindling now that Inns has been sent to the grave.
And Alistair's going to find another kill with the AWP. It's just 2 pistols left. They haven't done the damage that they've hoped for, and this isn't looking too good for them. They will be boosting Zeusy up here. He just peeks over, spots a player, and then immediately falls to Sicko with the other op. So this is probably not the way Tainted drew this round up. And really, Yam, he's going to try and find a kill, but I don't think he has much of a chance of that.
No, not at all. And it's still a little bit strange to me seeing Yam's handle on there, because the tag before it is IM, which is Immunity, which is his former team from 2014, I believe. That is a long time ago. But nonetheless, we are going into the closing chapter of the first half, and Tainted Minds have elected to time out. I guess when you're going for broke and you want to get a 5th round and a half, given the current economic state, you don't really have a choice. You want to put Order on ice and try to steady the ship.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it's the last round of the half, but this is going to be a bye. You have a chance at this round, and you need to see some of your players step it up. Burn sitting on 2 kills is not really what you want to be seeing. Granted, it's a half. It's been a long game. He has a chance to step it up in the second half, but still, 2 kills through 14 rounds so far isn't the start that Tainted were hoping he'd get off to, especially not when you look on the other side and see someone like Sicko sitting on 17 kills himself.
And the frag distribution, well, aside from Liaz, but he's been getting a lot of the info players. You have a much more tight-knit group on the side of Order. And Burn, given his reputation back through his previous teams, he was quite the devastating fragger, but he's hardly showing that. As you mentioned, 2 frags in 14 rounds, and we and bought all that they can, but it'll be up to them to use it wisely.
Yeah, it looks like we're seeing a bit of an early pressure towards Squeaky, and that's where Yam's going to be going with the bomb. So there's only one player on A right now, that's Hats, because there's actually the counter boost going up. Imagine's going to be the player going up top. He has Offnu right on the other side. They're just waiting. The timing on this is going to be massive, and especially if either player expects the other to be that close. Who will find this kill? Okay, Imagine knows that Offnu finds the kill, so that's a big opening pick. However, it's an A hit that's coming in. Hats is the only one here. The rotations have to come in. They're starting to. Hops up on the box. Will spot up. Yam does the dink, but not enough to get the kill. And now these players are trying to funnel in through Highway. This does favor Tainted just because it is a choke point, but it looks like they've busted through it okay. However, Leias is going to go ins. Again, is looking good for Tainted. They might be able to bring this to a 10-5 half. See, though, the smokes are starting to dissipate. Retake could be that much easier for Order, especially as they smoke off one of these players. They know that he is in towards main. Now Magic's just running forward right onto the bomb. Yam gets taken out. They know Zeus is behind squad. He gets taken out too. Jumping through the smoke. Burn goes down. And this is going to be a stuck defuse. There is nothing Inns can do about it. As the bomb is defused and Order grab their 11th round, closing out the half 11-4.
Dare I say, dominant display and a little bit of humble pie for Tainted Minds after their magical run through the bracket up to this point. But standout performance, I think my man of the half would have to be Sicko off of that one. And especially imagine being his right-hand man. Not only with nade usage, I still can't get over that 3k from the earlier. Absolutely nuts. But we'll reminisce at a later time. We're going into the second pistol round. We have 4 members armored up on the side of Order. Imagine carrying the nades. And we have 4 on the side of Tainted Minds and the nade man and Kit being Zeusy thus far. We have a death squad coming into A. There's only one lone defender there. He's definitely no slouch. He's proving it to me right now by Kuching. Imagine Zeusy will be there to assist. Ofnu is there with 3. Scratch one more, thank you very much. And that will be in quick order. Tainted Minds shrinking the gap. They win the initial pistol.
So a similar setup to the other pistol round that we saw, but a little bit different play on the A site. What you had is the one player sitting towards quad, whereas when Tainted were on their T side, they were running into a player that was playing from truck. Because of that, the player in quad is such a hit or miss spot. He either needs to step it up, get a lot of kills, or he's very heavily hindered his team. He happened to peek out, get a couple kills, and that allowed his team to close out the round. And that's why it's another pistol round going in favor of Tainted.
I'm a little bit tickled by the gun on the back of Yam at the moment. He has the M1014. Oh, I love seeing it. But there's a little bit of an engagement towards quad. And it looks like they're still in a stalemate. And a little bit of an engagement between Ofnu and Alistair. Ofnu will get the better of him in that exchange. Ofnu's moving towards B main. Burn will be there to greet them with the MP9. Hats will be sent out. Liaz will be there to trade, but Yam will tell Liaz to eat a ton of buckshot, and that's exactly what he will do. And now,
yeah,
3k with the M1014. Thank you, Yam, and that is a 6 on the board for Tainted Minds. And I'm actually seeing that I didn't do a wham bam thank you Yam reference for that one. But still,
the noob tube reigning supreme, Yam making the XM look beautiful, and manages to find a nice 3k. And the thing is that's $900 a kill. That is a lot of money at $5,700 coming into this round, and he hung on to it.
And he has every right to. There is nothing bought up for Order at all. So it'll just basically be free reign for Tainted Minds. Whether Order wants to use this round to talk or just get it over with, it looks like they're going with the latter. Liaz again in a 1 versus 5. And another frag for Yam. Is that? Wow. That is insane.
Yeah, Yam is has made $3,600 off the shotgun alone. He is at 9k. He is a rich man. Oh my. And he is hanging on. Are you kidding me? They are
He's
going
hanging on to it.
He is hanging on to it. As there are 2 M4s and an op on his team. Zusi's still hanging on to the UMP. And with the money, they'll be able to buy even if they lose this round. I like it. It's ballsy, and that's what Tainted Minds need to do. They need to show some balls. We'll see if it works out for them.
I think this will actually spook Order and not want to engage in close quarters, because they will be greeted by Yam and his M1014, and then they will be blown away by the buckshot. It's so unorthodox and so insane, yet he's it's paid off huge. What? It's tripled the value of the M1014 in those 2 rounds alone. Unreal. And the defense a little bit spread out now. And Order are definitely not wanting to let the economy get away from them because they know that the M714 was used in those last 2 rounds. The more lives that they can take without being replied to, the better static for Order moving onward towards the end of this map. It looks like the presence will be on the A site. The bomb is moving in towards A main. And there's only one there on the shroud spot. Often will be there to take one, but imagine an Alistair will balance it out. And once again, Inns will tip the scales with his AWP. Now with 3 versus 3. Now with 3 versus 2 in favor of Tainted Minds, thanks to Inns and his AWP. Yam with the M1014 right at the back. Yam away. And that is an 8th now for Tainted Minds. I can't get over that M1014, man. That is insane. How much value he's gotten off of that, and now he's picked up an AK to replace it.
He's at 14k, just for reference, and the rest of his team, off news high, he had 9k coming into this round. The rest are only around 4k. So the fact that Yam had that much money that he's bought an AWP, full nades, and is still sitting on 7k is massive for his team, and it'll be even more massive if he can make the AWP sing. Order, they're gonna want to try and break the trend towards A on that. Will they expect Zeusy deep in A main? Doesn't matter because he gets a kill. Often gets one as well. Often getting a third, denying the play, and Zeusy chiming in with one more of his own. It is just Hats with the CZ.
They were wanting to collapse on the A site in a very quick hit, and it did not pay off at all. Only, what, 46 damage done to Tainted Minds. Well, until I said, just after I said that, Zeusy got into an engagement and got a little bit hairy, but the gap has now shrunk to 2. Order is still in the lead, but they are wanting to put the brakes on it and have coiled the timeout. And looking at their economic situation and knowing that Yam is on $10,000, he's bankrolled them for days. He may as well rename his shotgun to the Bank for Tainted Minds. You'd want to put a stop to him, and quick.
Yeah, he rocked the moneymaker. He's got his team up on economy there. You know, it's built as well, not only because of the shotgun, because they have won all 5 rounds this half. They've done so keeping a lot of players alive. There's 5 alive in the last round, 3 in the one before. 3 rounds this half. All 5 players have lived. There has been a grand total of 3 CTs killed this entire half, and because of that, Inns, yeah, he's a little bit broke, but he is down at 4,200, but still 2 players pushing 10k, a couple pushing 8k. Tainted Minds are gonna be quite happy. And the other thing with this is because Order haven't had their economy build up, this is a very tough spot for them. A built economy on the CT side, it makes it so much easier for you across the board, because even if you drop around, you can keep buying back. And the fact that Order haven't been able to control that could cost them this entire map.
Cost in more ways than one, indeed. And it looks like a little bit of presence towards B main. Yeah, letting the ult ring out is definitely no stranger with that particular weapon. Definitely still a force to be reckoned with. Spamming through the smoke is definitely there. His presence known. There's no doubt about that. Is fallen back to the boxes. And coming into engagement with Hats, and there you go, a 3-3 at the poor, right to the chest. I'll see you next round, Mr. Hats. And now Order is on the man disadvantage very early on. We're barely at a minute 10. And Order may be a little bit short in terms of firepower and maybe even guidance. I don't even know where to go at this point.
Yeah, I mean, what's going to be a real miracle? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but on the off chance Tainted do win the map and keep this going, it's shocking. As Yam with another lovely op shot, it's shocking that they're doing this with Burn sitting on 3 kills. We're now 2/3 of the map done, and he still has only chimed in for 3, yet his team are still in this game. Testament to how well his teammates are playing.
Don't worry, hold my beer. And all 4 members of the Tainted Minds squad are holding all of the beers for Mr. Bird. Thank you very much. And there you go. He's almost doubled his round total, his frag total after the 2K onto Sicko and Alistair. Now Liaz in a 1 versus 4, and Yam. Take a seat, sir. Liaz will be claimed by Yam. A 3K for him, a 2K for Burn, and the gap is now 1.
So, little secret when it comes to players underachieving. The second you mention them and give them a bit of a call out, they like to make casters eat their words. I don't know how it works. It always does. Is Burn making me eat them there with a lovely 2K.
It's the patented caster's curse, Mr. Dreamboat. It happens in all the games ever. I've watched fighting games, I've watched shooters, I've watched even MOBAs. It happens almost every time. Without fail. But that being said, Order are definitely not wanting to go quietly. They have bought into this with everything that they've got, but they've definitely been left short-handed in terms of firepower and definitely utility. So there'll be that with stiff resistance all on our side of being made. Burn left with a smorgasbord, does do a lot of damage, but only gets 1. But it may be enough given the rest of his compatriots are on the B site proper. And Zusi will claim 2. Yam will claim 1. Liaz yet again in a 1 versus 4. And Ofnu will silence him promptly. And we have achieved a state of balance. We are at 11 rounds apiece. But Tainted Minds are hot to trot. To the word, and they will be taking the lead, barring any crispy series of 1-digs from the Order members.
See, Order need to find some way to buy a kill. You need 5 kills in a round to win it, obviously, assuming you don't get the plant. They've had 5 kills all half, as it has been a string of 7 straight rounds for Tainted right now. Order, they need to buy a kill. I don't know how you do it, who you talk to. This isn't, Wheel of Fortune. You can't be like, Pat, I'd like to buy a kill. But they need to find a way to get one. It's just, they've only gotten 1 in the last 2 rounds. It's absolutely devastating for them.
Maybe, and the devastation does continue at the end in taking out Alistair. And Zusi having a free field day will take down 2 as well as the bomb carrier. And sadly, you're going to have to spin the wheel and try to come up lucky because Order... no luck whatsoever. I'd like to buy a Val. Oh my goodness. It has turned on its head. Tainted Minds would have won out the half, I believe, if this was the first half. And that is 8 straight from the pistol. But Order are trying to mount a resistance and they're running out of time. They're running out of time, Dreamboat. And this could be their last hurrah.
Yeah, just everything they're trying is not working, and they can't even smoke mid-Z properly. It allows Inns to find a shot. He second one onto Alistair. But again, like that... Okay, Inns, nice nade. Good job. But even then, little mistakes like that aren't being punished by Order. Like, they're just letting Tainted walk all over them.
Yeah, they need to bolster up. They need to find a way to mount an attack that will run over this... basically a steel wall. They've built it up throughout this entire map, and Order have no answer. They haven't been able to find the secret passage, the doorway through. They haven't even been able to find a battering ram to make a hole in the wall. They're just not having an answer for Tainted Minds. It's definitely showing not only in the score line, but in the amount of frags exchanged. But Liaz and Alistair are wanting to put life into it. They are combining to take the A site proper, and Hats will join in as well. And now with 3 versus 2, this is Order's best chance at getting a round win and perhaps snapping the momentum of Tainted Minds. But Yam and Burn are still left standing, and there's
We'll
still...
see if they expect Burn on the flank, and they don't. He manages to pick off Liaz. Yam will fall to Alistair, but it is the bottom fragger Burn in a 1v2. Knows where one player is. It's tagged up by him. Does he expect the second right behind him? No! Hat's getting that kill. Order finally get their first round of the half and tie it at 12. It had to happen at some point.
It had to happen, sure, but they're definitely not out of the woods. Like, look at the economic standing of Tainted Mines after an ore buy and full utility. Yam is still on nearly 8 grand, and there's still Zeusy pushing 5 figures, so it'll take at least 2 or 3 more rounds for basically Order have to win out this game to break the economy of Tainted Mines in their current state. And yeah, maybe catching the legs of Hats from Checker. A little bit of a stalemate. They're still having his eye trained on that position.
Very slow pace right now from Order. They're grouping up. They don't want to get caught out by anything, especially not some of the ops, which there are, of course, 2 of. Ins and mid. This time it will be smoked out properly. Won't be able to get much of a shot through. Does fire one for good riddance, but not able to connect onto Alistair. This does look better from Order. They've done a little bit job taking space. They're now coming through vents. There's 2 players in checkers right now. Yam is one of them. In's actually getting the shot through the wall as Burn chimes in with another kill. 2 kills of his own. It is a 3v2 right now. Inns is completely smoked out. Bombs should go down. And this is a massive round right now for both teams.
Definitely one of the hardest sites to retake. But Sicko's been firebombed out. That may be a little bit of a saving grace and a potential sign to go. But the bomb will start to tick away. Yes, the manpower is stronger, but the positions in the B site for the terrorists have so much value. Especially if Sicko can get a frag from heaven, and yes he will. Imagine if Sicko will combine. And now we are in a duel of the orbs between Inns and Sicko.
Oh, what a job of staying alive here. Sicko will find that kill too. Beautiful job delaying in Order grab a second straight round. Their money isn't great, but it should still be a solid buy across the board. And now with the buy-ups, Tainted are actually getting low on cash on a few of these players. Sure, they have one at 4,500, one at 6.5K right there. So there is a bit of money. It's not going to be a reset if they lose this round, but it's getting closer to that. As Order look to show a little bit of confidence right now. They're winning a few clutches. They're winning a few duels now, and it's finally looking like they're back in this game.
Yeah, Sicko effectively bled the clock there in his duel there on the B side proper, and ended up getting one life of 16 HP if memory serves.
Well, it's funny how the difference in that last round was actually the pistol. He got dinked up by the USP, and that didn't leave a lot of health, but it left plenty, whereas the other guy just got instantly crushed by the P250.
Damage numbers are everything.
Better pistols, man. If you have the money, may as well buy it.
For sure, and potential huge return too. You could get a weapon off of a corpse, or however it all shakes out. But what we'll be checking out, we're in 5 seconds to go time. Alistair will open the fragging onto Zeusy. The Death Squad is starting to move in through A main. Liaz does eat a lot of fire, but will take out Yam for his troubles. He'll definitely take that exchange. And there is only one line of defense left, that being Inns. Sicko will burn off New alive. I will see you with the afterlife, good sir, and that will be Hats taking out Burn. And now Inns, yes, he's a star orber behind the forklifts, but he is all that remains for the Tainted Mines squad. The bomb will go down. Sicko will make Inns' head go pop. And that will be 14 now for Order. And the tables have obviously turned because Tainted Mines have called a timeout and really want to pump the brakes. They've been completely broken in terms of stability in their economy. Are able to force up a buy, or just have to wait and see how it'll all shake out.
This is such an important round for Tainted right now. Their money, sure, it's good. You're going to get a buy in here. The downside is you lose this round, not only are Order on match point, your economy's broken. Not going to be much of a buy into the next round. And basically hands Order the game. So Tainted, with everything to play for right now, it's the right call calling a timeout. You know, Order don't have that strong an economy. Haven't had that many players live for the last 3 rounds. So, you know, if you win here, you break them, maybe get yourself back on even footing. This is so pivotal and understandable that they're calling a timeout right now, trying to figure out how they want to make this work.
To be about as even a matchup as you could ask for. Well, aside from Inns, according to his economic standing and buy, he'll be the only one with the UMP, but we have full util on both sides. And we do have an orb duel between Yam and Sicko, the two figureheads in terms of the AWP on each side. So this is definitely for all the marbles. If Tainted Minds lose this, they could basically just call it kaput. Dunzo, and that'll be that. But 50 damage done from a HE nade, which is mighty impressive there. So that's made Alistair a little bit wary moving forward. They've gathered.
Meaty nader now. Alistair down, of course, half health. We'll see how they elect to do this. They are gathered, as you said, towards A main. They're just slowly sussing it out before the hit will come in. There are still 2 players on that site. One is on white box as well. That's Inns on the UMP. And a good spot to support his boys if the hit does come in. It looks like it is inching ever closer to. They do re-smoke it. That's actually going to force Order to back up a little bit and decide whether or not this is where they want to go.
And the Hat's in mid, as a matter of fact. Wanted to take a challenge to Gav. Has definitely made his presence known, and they find a little bit of warning shots, a little bit of damage exchanged. Has actually moved into the vent, and maybe either causing a bit of a ruckus to try and pull someone over, or try to thin out the numbers to make a B hit actually possible. But so much for that. It looks like the manpower has moved out onto the A site proper. And Ofnu will be there to greet them. He will take out Liaz as well as Alistair. There's trades coming all over the place. 3K for Ofnu so far. Somebody stop this man. And now we are in 3 versus 2. Sicko will take down Ofnu and end his reign of terror, but Yam and Burn are able to reply. And now Order left at a little bit of a dizzy sorts, and Tainted Minds will be breathing a sigh of relief after that. And the gap is now 1, and now the timeout will be called again by Order, and definitely wanting to pump the brakes. There is one person on 7.5 grand, but on the Order, it's not too good in terms of economics.
They can still comfortably bring a lot of weaponry in here and make this definitely a round. Imagine is actually pulling out the MAC-10 just so that he has a bit more money. Liaz is going to be on the CZ. But the thing I look at is now look at Tainted's money. As I mentioned, you know, they weren't in a great situation. And the fact that they dropped 3 players means that they're going to have a buy, but now their money is absolutely gone. It's basically winning this round, but at what cost for Tainted, depending how many players they start dropping.
So this is the most pivotal of pivotal rounds in terms of the current state of battle. The freeze time will expire, and we go into this first map of this best of 3 for the open qualifier for the FACEIT Asia Minor. We said right from the outset that this could be a tug of war, a war of attrition that you could have asked for, and they've delivered in spades.
Be quick hit towards the A bomb site right now. They're just rushing out there. Ofnu's fully white. He's actually gonna get kill spraying through. Yam chiming in with one of his. Gets one, Ofnu another, and it is now just Hats in mid. That's not how they wanted that to go. Hats won't even be able to find Burn there. Is Tainted tied up at 14.
That death squad through A main, they just packed together and tried to pull a metaphorical, just a colossal charge out from all that, and it was just basically all for naught. Ofnu was there to greet them with nothing but bullets, and now Order have basically conceded this round and conceded match point to Tainted Minds.
Well, this is a big situation for Tainted now. The fact that they are up and should be poised to take that point. These pistols, though, they're up in the shroud boost, and they won't expect Ofnu up there. He's actually going to get 2 before being taken out. Yam is in a main. Bomb plant will be down, which is massive for Order. That means that they're going to have a solid buy into the next one as their loss bonus starts to kick in. See what the retake can do. Pistols, obviously, damage in the close range. As you can see there, Sicko finding Yam. Sicko with the AWP, finding another kill. Sicko, can he pull this off? Doesn't look like it's meant to be. They know that Hats is deep in mid, and this will be a closed out round. But a lot of damage done just on pistol buys as Order look to force OT.
As you said, they win around, but at what cost? It looks like they will be able to buy in properly, though. But the fact Order could have dropped that much value in terms of guns, manpower, utility off of 3 pistols, it's still a testament. And actually quite a norm in Australian Counter-Strike. Sometimes round wins, not only in the economy, but full-blown wins will come out of a round like that. Definitely do not sleep on them. But this is for everything. Either we see extras or Tainted Mind a tally in this best of 3 series.
And now it's Order doing what they can to force OT. You're going to see a boost into mid. And look at the setup of Tainted right now. They have no one in mid. That's going to give Order a lot of space if they choose to take it and figure out that no one is there. Allows a lot. They could split B. They could split A. We'll see, though, as they start to inch their way towards mid.
Mid and the boost spot. There's still definitely stalwart defenders in the 2 bomb sites. There's no question about that. Ofnu on the Shroud boost. And Highway has been smoked off. Alistair's moving in through the vents. The cavalry is coming. Ind is firebombed out of the... to use the smoke to extinguish it. And it looks like the skirmish will be going down on the B bomb site. Burn will take out Alistair. Zusi will reply. Sicko and Hats will try to battle back. Int has not moved from behind the box in checkers. This could be pivotal. Yam will take out Hats with the HE nade. Yam will erase Sicko and Imagine. And that is your final. A full 30 rounds was required to decide it, but Tainted Minds will go 1 map up in this best of 3 series, 16 rounds to 14. And Dreamboat, that was hardly a cruise. There was a lot of choppy waters for both teams in that voyage.
And really the difference is that after 20 rounds, Burn only had 3 kills. He managed to pick up 11 in the last 10 rounds, bringing his total to 14. And that really was the difference maker. Tainted had another player that they could rely on to start to get some kills. He had some good retakes, some good holds, and that allowed Tainted to get back into this game and climb back to the scoreline that managed to take it.
And it definitely wasn't easy. And Order did have a last gasp there, but ultimately it wasn't enough. The string of, 8 or 9 opening rounds for Tainted Minds would have just basically stunned the momentum dead for Order, any momentum that they had going into the change. But we go into a change of our own. We go into the second map of Nuke very shortly.
We have arrived in a zone with no toxicity. That's right, Valve removed it from the map, but it is still the same old nuke we know and love. I am, of course, Dreamboat, joined by Cyberwaste. We are live into the knife round, map 2 between Order and Tainted. And man, oh man, Cyber, I have to favor Order on this map.
Well, you'd have every single right to, because these two have actually played on nuke in the past, and it was an absolute drubbing. Then again, it is on an older version. Lots of play has evolved since then. So who knows? We could see rivalries and play anew.
Yeah, the last time they played, it was a 16-1 per Order. That said, you know, Tainted are still a good team. They could pull this out, and all they need is 2 rounds to do better than they did last time. But this is, of course, map 2 of a best of 3. Winner moves to the next round as we are in the semifinals of the Oceanic minor qualifiers for the FACEIT Major. Into the pistol round right now. They are taking a lot of pressure outside. Burn gets the first kill onto Sicko. Looking for more. They have entered into A, and down goes Imagine. And Alistair as well has fallen. 2 players up in heaven. Hats gets his head taken off. It's just Lias up with the USP 1v4. He does take out Burn. It's now still a 1v4 though. What else can he find, Cyber?
Not a whole lot. Ofnu will quickly dispatch of him, and that is a matched round total from their last contest. That is Tainted Minds taking the opening pistol. And off of the 2k for Ofnu and 1 for everyone aside from Zeusy. And that's definitely an ideal start on Nuke, especially given traditionally it's still a CT-sided map by quite a hard weight. But Order have decided to throw some coin into this. We have a little bit of armor on 4 of the members, excuse me. 3 of them have helmets and a deagle on the back of Sicko. Definitely something not to sleep on. And that may actually thwart a few of these buys from Tainted Minds. They have a lot of submachine guns that are there to sort of bolster their economy in the future that could actually be thwarted depending on how Order ends up playing this. Sicko's on the outside in the garage, as a matter of fact. I have caught wind that there's Burn on top of the silo, but decided to resist the urge to pull the trigger. And a couple of smokes are used on the outside positions. The entire outside is actually smoked off, and the squad is moving along in kind. But there is one behind the silo, and behind them now in a flank, which is Hats, but it did not pay off too hardly with Zeusy dispatching of him.
Well, and the Inn's actually pushed into upper lobby and does a little bit of damage to a pair of players, but that's up by A, and the players are making their way towards B, and of course 2 of them going down vents, go down to the new vents that comes out in that different spot. See what they can find. Leis is looking for it. Ofnu will find him. Sicko chimes in from behind onto Yam. It is a 2v3 situation right now. What can Order do? Do they have a way back in?
They're running out of time, and it looks like if they don't find a frag now, that may cause the end of it. But Imagine will breathe new life into the round by taking out Ofnu, and then the life is quickly taken away by Zeusy by taking it out Imagine. So only one will survive, that being Sicko. Not his right-hand man of Liaz, sadly, and that is a second round with 2 surviving for Tainted Minds. And the bomb will probably go boom.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good job by Tainted. It got a little bit hairy there. They dropped a couple players, but in the end, it still worked out. And they take their second round of the map, which is more than they took the last time they played on this map.
They doubled their round score. That's definitely something to be celebrated. And they are looking to triple it, as a matter of fact. Looking at Order's current standing, that is looking highly likely. But did Sicko actually buy a deagle to put himself under? Oh, no, he didn't. Not to put himself under, but to bring his economic standing in line. So that deagle and the MAC-10 that was salvaged onto Alistair may want to bear fruit, but Yam is having none of it. Will promptly dome Sicko.
Yeah, still though, Tainted just being slow about this. They're sussing it out. They don't want to be caught in an awkward situation, like Alistair with the Mac 10. He is quite close up, and he's spraying through. He's actually gonna find Zeusy. The flashbang was great. They pick off Ins as well, and this is actually being devastating for Tainted. Yam will come back with a couple quick kills, but it is a 2v2 right now as they try and hit the A bomb site. I think that 2v1 as it is just Imagine who is pushed through the squeaky door in the lobby, and Yam will find him. That's an ace for Yam into the round. Good round for him.
Indeed, and definitely for a man of his caliber. Like, remember, he was on the team that went to the major that was Renegades, and what got quite a cult following there, and ended up being there and then coming home. But we go into the first gun round, and Order's first chance to put up a proper defense and try to restore, well, their namesake. Good for you,
Will they be able to restore order is the million-dollar question. Of course, first gun round. They don't have the they do have the AWP, sorry, on Sicko. There isn't one on Tainted, which gives them a nice advantage aside from retakes. See where they elect to hit though. Flashes coming in over the A bomb site. Imagine trying to throw some shots through, does some damage, but a couple players went down vents, and I don't know if Imagine caught that.
Well, he caught some bullets into his back thanks to Yam. That I know for certain. But whether the sound cue was relayed to his team or not remains to be seen. Heaven will be firebombed out, and poor Alistair will be forced to flee and right into the waiting arms of Yam. That is 7 frags in 2 rounds. I bet he'll be feeling high after that. And the bomb is down. The manpower is up for Tainted Minds, and Order are left to scramble. And from what I can gather, yeah, they are not even wanting to contest. Sicko is all the way back in CT spawn, wanting to hang on to his AWP. It looks like his compatriots are wanting to follow suit.
There's a bit of a hunt coming down. Looks like they do want to try and find Laius in the flash. Not actually going to land where it wanted. Laius is fully cleaned up, but now he gets flashed up. He'll still find Burn with it, though. Looking for more. He's going to find Ins. In Sicko chimes in on Zeusy. That's the entire team killed. Doesn't matter, though. Bomb goes off. But a nice job to damage Tainted's economy.
A lot of damage. Take a look. Like, yeah, they're able to fall by, but if they get snapped now, it'll be very, very dire straits and a good chance for Order to tie things up. Liaz with a 3k round for him. 3 skulls to add to the belt. And this could be Order's best chance to right the ship. But if Burn is any indication, he will try to prevent that. He will get one and lick Alistair up quite handily. But Sicko's behind the blue crate near the garage. It will take out the offending force of Burn. Yam will try to hold strong, and so will Sicko, who will actually take down 2, and now we are in a 1 versus 1 between Sicko and Ofnu. Potential 4k in Sicko's sights. The bomb will be faked, and a rimmed cartridge will go.
Looking so strong. I guess Order, they're completely rattled off of that last map. And the problem is just the fact that some of these guys have started slow. Alistair with 1 kill, Hats with 1 kill. You want to see those guys step it up early, have some impact quickly, and they just haven't quite managed to do that yet. On the other side, it's tough to do anything when Yam is running through you with 9 kills in 3 rounds, or 5 rounds.
Yam's been a unit for a long time, and that is a huge test just based off his scoreline alone. 9 and 3 in 6 rounds. Still, Ofnu is definitely not being a slouch. He's averaging just under a kill a round, being at 5 and 2. And the only one that's averaging a frag a round is Sicko with a 6 and 3. And then Liaz with a 5 and 4. Imagine with a 3 and 5. And then only Alistair and Hats with 1 frag apiece. So they will have to come to life in coming rounds. And it looks like Order have put together a bit of a scrappy buy. Little bit of armor, some CZs, which we know how potent they are. Sicko with the Deagle. We know his aim can be impeccable. Will they be able to let this work? Good bit of damage onto Inns there from that AG as well. So that's made him a little bit wary.
In order, they are on max loss bonus, so these kills are going to help them greatly as well. As Hatch finds Offnu with the SMG. Imagine gets one with the CZ75. Not much of a kill bonus there, only $100, but still the kill itself is very lovely to find. Is Yam? That was a quick CZ shot right there. That was crisp.
Clean.
Locks.
Boys. Perfect.
Well done. Completely unscheduled, but it worked out. And Alistair actually takes a bit of damage from his teammate. Peeked out vents. He went for the preemptive shot. Didn't quite work out, but the bomb has been planted for Tainted in the 1v3, but the peek from Hats is quite good. Finds Yam. Looking for more. Zeusy will be taken out. Inns now in the 1v2. He is half health. He's in a fairly solid spot, though. If Elias doesn't expect this, the defuse is coming through. Inns is spraying through, but the flank from Alistair, the flank, I don't know how that came out, Frank, was good. Finds the kill in order to grab their first round.
Well, they were getting very, very hairy though in terms of time. Neither of them had a kit, so they really were on the clock to try and retake that side. But with 2 surviving, the bomb will be defused. The first round of this map will go to order. The gap is now 4. And Tainted Minds, despite winning all those rounds, have elected to eco and maybe even just try to get a bomb plant. They did keep it close for a couple of the rounds though, which was a big contributing factor.
Yeah, Tainted just right into pistols, 5 straight, and now your pistols. It feels terrorist, man.
Feels T, man. Indeed. Smoke will go off to cut off Squeaky. Hats is in the hut. And we'll try to relay this to the team. The gap in the smoke will be detrimental to them. Hats will take out 2. Alistair and a map 1 apiece. And Alistair will actually add to that. Hats did end up going down, but he did take a few with him. So that is still a good parting gift for the Tainted Minds members to carry on with. And now there's a second round for order, and yet again, Tainted Minds do have to cop one, but they've gotten a little bit of a scrambled by. A few bits of armor in the piece. We have 3 Deagles and 2 CZs. So if they end up closing the range, we could see this entire map turn on its head on a single round.
I like the call to force backup again and not buy like that heavily either round as Inns gets picked off by Imagine. Because of the importance of utility on this map on your T side, it's probably the most important to get that map space on this map. I think you need so much more utility every single round as a T. You can get away with less on other maps. I feel Nuke is quite important. So they are saving to make sure they can have a proper buy and an execute. Hats, though, doing a great job denying these pistols, grabbing 3.
He's aiming to put down a 4th as well. He's distracted Yam long enough to get cleaned up by Sicko. And there's a 3rd for order. And yeah, you did allude to it. And it requires a lot of coordination and a lot of utility to be a successful attacker or T side or terrorist or however you want to put it. It requires a lot of coordination and a lot of good timing, and it would be a remiss if Tainted Minds didn't have that, and it seems that they do, just given their track record of 5 in a row until it got snapped.
But now they do have the utility, they do have the weaponry, they are throwing a lot of space on this map, taking some pressure outside. Alistair's gonna be very close to Squeaky, and I'm not sure Zeusy's gonna expect this. He's actually moved up right behind the door. This is creative, and he is going to find a free kill there on Zeusy. Nice job by Alistair to grab that one. And a big opener again for order.
Shut the door in his face, and it made him pay for that. You will give me granted entry, good sir. And that will square it at a 4 versus 4. Inns and Yam will shrink it even further for order. And now Liaz will be the only one to reply, but not before being burnt to a cinder. And now it is a for Sicko, And if he knew how low both of the Tainted Minds members could be, and if he tries to separate this into a pair of jewels, this is very doable. But it doesn't look like Tainted Minds are going to give him any quarter.
Well, he's picked up another Molotov. So he has mollies for days on this one. Doesn't quite force Yam out of where his hiding spot is. We'll swap over to the AK though. Sicko time is low. Doesn't like his odds. He's going to fall back and save. Which is the right call with how long he took on that.
Indeed, and not knowing the health pool of the T side was probably a piece of information that either got lost in translation or he didn't even know. But that is a 2k each for the two surviving men, that being Yam and Ints. A 6th round now, going into round number 10. But if you're Order, you're not down in the dumps just yet, but you do know that if the T side is able to run riot on Nuke, even in this new iteration, things could get even more difficult from here on out.
Right back for Order. Still trying to do what they can. AWP, of course, on Sicko. Can they bring it back and win another round? Or will it be Tainted continuing to build this great T side that they've had so far? 6 rounds on Nuke is always a nice spot to be in this early.
You would have dreamed having a round differential like this in any iteration of Nuke. And Inns will aim to add one more by sending Alistair to the bench for the foreseeable future. And even after that frag, they're not acting too swiftly on it. They're exercising a little bit of patience and waiting for Order to perhaps overplay their hand and be a little bit paranoid in their state of play.
Setting up for some smokes coming in there. Zusi throws his. Another one being thrown out as well. Shoot their way in here. Flashbangs coming out into A. Inns is actually going straight down towards vents. Doesn't actually go down it, and he'll find Hats with that kill. Zusi's come out to join his friend on this site. We'll find the first kill, looking for more. Not able to find the second one. See 3v2 right now. Flare came right up the vents, and that's Sicko with the pistol. And just to find one, but Inns will erase him after erasing Imagine. It's a 4K for Inns in his 7th round for Tainted Minds.
Inns had that giant eraser, that giant novelty eraser that you had it as a kid. He just smacked Order around with it with quite a plum. And Order have voted to call a timeout, take a chill, and try to figure out what they can do with their current state of affairs, their current economy, what they can buy, and what Tainted Minds has to offer, which has been quite a lot. To their credit, though, Tainted Minds and their economic state is not out of control, so Order could definitely make this a respectable half, but Order are running out of opportunities to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Order, this isn't the way you want your CT side to go on this map. It's not the end of the world, though. It's only a 4-round differential. If they have a very strong T side, they can absolutely work this. But Tainted, they're just looking so good. Yam and Inns are firing on all cylinders. The rest of the team isn't even doing that much. You know, Zusi only has 4 kills. Burns on 3, Off-News on 5. But it doesn't matter. They're doing a great job of hitting the sites together. Yam and Inns are finding the crucial kills, and that's led to this lead so far for Tainted Minds. Timeout has expired. We're into the next one, and we'll see how Order do anything, if they can do anything, to stump this.
It'll be quite a day of reckoning, and looking at their buy, it'll be very, very hard pressed. It'll take all their cunning and will to try to close the gap and get a 4th round on the board. Still at a bit of a stalemate. They do have a lot of knowledge of each other. That has been said ad nauseum throughout this broadcast, but when you have a map record that is this even, now at 12-9 in favor of Tainted Minds, imagine right up and close into Inns' mouth and will grate his face clean away. It does take a lot of damage, though. He is down to 19. The smokes and utility will start to come out. Alistair in the hut may be caught unawares by Zusi, but he's too wise to. It does take damage, but does take a scalp for for him, and the slow, methodical attack of Tainted Minds has been put to a halt thus far, and this could be the reply that Order have so desperately tried to fight for.
Alistair, though, I thought he was going to find another kill there. But he's not able to find two. Does a good job finding one, but this is looking very good for Order right now. Although Burn, he might have something to say about this. His health is poor. He finds the kill onto Sicko. It's a 2v3.
Now a 2v2 thanks to Ofnu, and it looks like Order are not taking any chances, but if Burn were to somehow get a frag onto Hats or Liaz, the dynamic duo, the best bromance in Australian CS, maybe that would have been a round for Tainted Minds, but it is not to be. There's a fourth on the board for Order, and something that they so desperately wanted, especially with two surviving. Now, does the momentum become a snapped thing for Tainted Minds? Does it all end there, and does Order somehow steady the ship and win out the half? That remains to be seen. The Tainted Minds are definitely wanting to put a stiff and quick reply into this map.
Well, Hats has done a good job opening up with a kill onto Burn. Will they be able to find some more here with ease? That would be what Order would like to do. We'll see how it works out.
And the members of the terrorist side of Tainted Minds have actually infiltrated the upper site. Susi and Ofnu are able to reply, and now it is a 3 versus 3, and now both teams are on the clock, especially with Liaz still being a pest and taking out Ofnu with the M4. And it has forced Ins back into the hut proper. But the big piece of intel, the bomb is down on the ground and out in the middle of the site. So everybody's going to be trained onto a potential retrieval of the bomb, and that is thinned even further thanks to Yam going down. And is all that remains in a 1 versus 3. You have 211 HP to chew through. Good luck.
We did a good job getting the dink onto Lias. Will he be able to find any more? Will he delete any of these players from the server? He's going to get the plant. That's massive. But the rotation's coming in fast and furious because of it. Might he fall back to a comfortable spot? He's actually done a good job, but he will be spotted. He'll actually get Sicko. Now this is doable. It is a 2v1. Ins getting another kill on the Hats. That was the high HP player. It is just Lias on 11 HP. Don't tell me Ins is seriously going to win this round. Be absolutely miraculous. They know where he is, though. Molly goes down. Spray through. Not going to be good, and it looks like Lias will be able to pull this out. Oh no, he pulls off of it. We'll get Ins, but the time is going to be tight. I think he has this, though.
Yes, he does. But
down to the wire.
You could have balanced that at knife edge. But the buffet car for Order will remain open. They do serve live refreshments. We will take your order and tip generously. But there is only one man that remained for that round, that being Liaz, and that is huge. Definitely balanced very tightly there. But Tainted Minds have bought full deagles and maybe electing the full-blown man run over a particular point and try to get the bomb down, or just to get this over with. Zusi is able to reply though, but not without consequence. Sicko is able to run right. Ofnu will tear Imagine's head clean off of his shoulders thanks to a 50 Action Express. We are now even in a 3 versus 3. And now Ofnu still running aplomb with the Desert Eagle. It's spreading its wings and singing very loudly before its song is silenced by Sicko. Alistair will take out Yam. And now Burn in a 1 versus 3. They cannot afford to lose any more men to Order, and Liaz will prevent that from occurring. The gap is now 1 as we go into round number 14 and Dreamboat. What do you make of the current state of battle?
Well, I mean, in Order, they're finally getting their economy under them. They've done a good job getting nades, doing a good job with those nades, and they've done a great job slowing Tainted down. I do say this game still favors Tainted at this point, and it's not going to go easier for Order as Hats takes a lot of damage. Sicko's there to chime back with the op shot, though. HE's come in, not able to connect. Now they burst through this smoke, and there's a couple players in trouble. Hats goes down, but again, Sicko chiming in with one, Imagine with another, and they've just done such a good job of slowing down Tainted. And that'll be a tie game, 7-7.
And Sicko has officially become the mind killer. A 4K for him on that round, and he single-handedly stopped them dead. And we go into the final round with Tainted Minds in, dare I say it, a little bit of disarray in terms of their buy. Yes, their weaponry is pretty decent, and in the grand scheme of things, actually quite good, especially if Yam can close the gap, but they have no utility. And as you alluded to earlier, Train is a map that relies so heavily on utility, it's going to be such an uphill battle moving forward into the next 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Well, slower pace right now from Tainted in the last round of the half. Regardless of how this goes, you know, they're going to be happy with 7 rounds. It's definitely a great T-side. That said, they could have climbed a lot more had they not lost 7-0 the last 9. It looks like they're going to be grouping up potentially towards a ramp hit. And that's where Lias is right now with the M4A4. We'll tap away. Trying to find one. We'll get ins. That's a lovely job getting that one. He is trying to fall back down a ramp, and it looks like he's going to do that okay. Might be a double peek come in. They are being supported from above. And it looks like Order are going to be fine for now. Elias, will they drop right on top of him? Or will they push through to Sicko? It looks like they're pushing through on Sicko. Op shot finds one onto Zuzi. Molly goes down. He's looking for more. Will he find it? What can he find? He's being surrounded, and he will be killed by Yam outside.
And that's nearly turned on Ofnu, but did end up taking him out. Does take a lot of damage though. So now it's 2 versus 3. Now it's 3 versus 1, excuse me. And Liaz will close the buffet car for Order. And that will be a half win for them, but only barely an 8-7 score as we go into the change, Dreamboat.
Yeah, I mean, great half. You know, I think both teams are going to be happy. Order, after the way they started, it looked like it was going to be a train wreck of a game for them. They've got to be thrilled that they managed to claw back, get some momentum there, and win the 8 of 10 rounds that they did after, you know, being down 5 rounds off the bat. Tainted, on the other hand, have to be happy with the fact that they managed to take 7 rounds on T-side on Nuke. It's no small task at all. So I'm very curious to see which one carries through on this. Will it be the momentum, or will it be the side? Burn getting things started with a lovely USB shot. Although Hats and Sicko chime back in with a few of their own. It is man advantage for Tainted. But this is still doable, absolutely, for Order.
Definitely. It's all going to come down to positioning and playing as a team, but it doesn't look like they're in any state to do that, especially with Zusi dropping Hats. Who was the bomb carrier? Imagine he's able to reply to Ofnu. Now it'll be up to him to frag out, but no, he'll be taken out by ins, and we are all square. An 8-8 into taking both pistols. I think that's all 4 pistol rounds were won by Tainted Minds in this set thus far.
That is true. They won both of them on Cash. They've now won both here on Nuke. And, you know, if this goes a third map, you kind of have to say Order don't deserve to win it. You can't really go in and win a series when you don't win any pistols. And this is going to hinder them here. Nice tag coming in from the scout of Yam. He coming in as well, doing good damage. What else can they find? Yam just wreaking havoc with the scout right now, doing so much damage. Often is there to try and chime in with some of the damage of his own. And this is looking good for Tainted, despite not having the kills.
And, well, Yam's the only man of concern, but he is made to keep his distance anyway. He's on 4 HP, true. But Ofnu is on 0 HP and very, very dead, thanks to the hands of Imagine and a little bit of assistance from Liaz. We're in a 4 versus 4 now, moving into 1 minute remaining. And Yam is definitely fully retreated, expecting perhaps a push in the near future. There is a little bit of weaponry on the back of Order, though. The Clarion was picked up by Imagine, so that is still something to consider in the near future. And Alistair tore ins apart there. And if Sicko can keep this up, he will take out the weakened player in Yam. So now it is all on Zusi and Burn. And Zusi is holding strong thus far, but Alistair will silence him. 2 versus 1 now for Burn to contend with. He doesn't have a hit on his back, but he does put bullets into the back of Sicko. Now 1 versus 1 between Alistair and Burn. And Burn will probably burn any hopes of Order winning that round to cinders. That will be the bomb defused. 1 survives.
He looked like a rock star there, getting those 2 kills with the MP9. I was nervous, you know, he tried to go up that ladder. I didn't think he had a chance, but he managed to juke jive, find the kill, and finds the round for Tainted Minds. This is looking good for them.
Indeed, he was one with the Matrix, and all we have left for Order, we have the power pistols, which we know the potency of, but we only have 3 smokes and a flash. We're going to go for a full execute, it would seem, and a potential bomb plant, but Yam may have caught wind of some of the bodies, throwing the utility towards the garage. They're moving in towards Secret and down towards the B site. Looks to be their plan.
We'll find one. He's got Yam backing him up with the FAMAS. He finds one as well. Will fall though. A lot of damage is being dealt on the outside right now. Not quite good enough. See, I mean, he's falling way back right now. Gets a lot of information here if they try and push him.
Even if he ends up going down, this could be just the recon play. He's hearing a lot of the gunfire. Liaz has caught a whiff of the man, and Burn will take out Sicko, and now the pinch will start to come in. Zusi will take out Alistair as well as Liaz. Thank you, Mr. Listening Post. You have been wonderful. That is Tainted Minds double digits moving into round number 19. And Order have their first chance to properly reply.
So I'm gonna go into a little story. I just had the scariest thing happen to me. But a fly landed on my mouse while I had my hand off of it, and I put it back down. And it tried to fly out from under my hand, and that genuinely scared the bejesus out of me. So yeah, that happened, Cyberwaste.
We don't advocate jump scares here in our CS:GO.
I try to avoid jump scares when casting, but that fly had other ideas.
Maybe there's a new horror genre that we need to tap into. Speaking of jump scares, let's see where the MP9 is playing. He's playing near the door. If that ends up opening and they don't check it, he could actually jump right out in front of the Order members moving onto the A site proper if they choose to do so. But it looks like Order are not showing their hand yet. They're gathering outside and have a couple of members in the lobby as well.
Well, they are slowly starting to work their way outsides, and now Zusi's sitting in vents, and that could be incredibly scary if Order don't check that. Sure they will, but they are starting to work their way down towards Zusi. He is the closest player. He'll be the first challenge, and I think he should be up for it. He's tapping away with the MP9, going to be falling back. And it's a lot of information already gained for his team. Good flashbang as well. Still looking for a kill, not be able to find it. But the rotations are coming in. Burns already down there. However, Liaz, the timing! He went away from the vents. Yam found that kill. Alistair's there to back him up. Inns will trade it back, and now it's just Imagine on 2 HP, 1v3. I don't like his odds here.
You could breathe on poor Imagine and he would drop like a sack, and that is exactly what will happen thanks to Burn. The bomb will be defused. They start to go on the hunt for a lot of the weaponry that they would want. And cut the cord. You are done. Tainted Minds go to 11. And despite all that effort, Order have been left a little bit wanting, and they have called the timeout, the third of their 4 available. What do you think that they're discussing at the moment, Dreamboat? What do you think their plan of attack will be?
You know, it's gonna be a situation on how can we get kills again. Like, they did a bit better on the second round. They left one alive, but still, these last two, they've only gotten 3 kills. They seem to be struggling on trading, and their timing just seems to be a bit off. You know, Lias, he had a great opportunity to potentially kill 2 players in vents. Instead, he looks away just a bit too early and falls because of it. So you can't really fix the timing on stuff like that. Some of that's a little bit luck. But what you can fix is trying to trade out kills better and support your team a little bit better, just because their trade kills just haven't been there well enough for Order.
No, good structure requires good. It seems to have been left a little bit wanting in some instances from Order as of late. But the freeze time will expire. Round 20 will commence as of now. You have full rifles. There are 4 AKs and a Galil on the side of Order, and Tainted Minds are kitted up to the nines, as you would want to be as a counter-terrorist.
Well, there's a big opening for Zeusy. Yam will get traded with Ofnu with a kill of his own. Again, these trades are so well for Tainted right now. Inns with a 2K. Please just imagine alive. He's found Burn. He's into the 1v2 versus Inns and Ofnu, and Inns is feeling himself this map at 17 kills. Can imagine rip his head off. Spots about, and Inns wins the duel. His 3rd of the round. They're going to be grabbing up the weaponry that they want. They pick up an AWP, and now the defuse will come in as Tainted grab a 12th round. I'm going to take this time to say, if you are enjoying this cast, you should give this channel, CappingTV, a follow. You can also support me and Cyberwaste. I'm at Dreamboat Casts on Twitter. Cyber, what's your handle?
I am Cyberwaste on Twitter. Go follow me there for a whole bunch of random ramblings on electronic athletics.
And we always would love the support, and we hope you're enjoying it here. This is, of course, map 2 of the best of 3 semifinals for the FACEIT Oceanic minor qualifiers. Order versus Tainted Minds. Tainted took the first one, so Order down, trying to claw their way back into this series. Lest Tainted win 2-0. Into the 21st round we go. A lot of pressure outside right now from Order. Hasn't worked out brilliantly for them so far. We'll see if they can turn it on here.
They're definitely running out of time to try and mount a comeback of any sorts. Yet again, just like Cash, Tainted Minds are uncontested. They won right from the break. And Hats even now is leaving a little bit disadvantaged, down to 52 in this first exchange, and now Ofnu will completely erase him and make that be a non-factor. Liaz tries to reply, is unsuccessful in doing so. Now down to 48. He goes into an engagement with Ofnu. He will take out. Imagine Liaz is able to reply and try to avenge him. Alistair in the hut is getting into a little bit of hot water. Yam creeping towards the hell ladder room will promptly dispatch of Liaz. Burn will take out both Alistair and Sicko and keep the train rolling for Tainted Minds. They go to 13 and they have 3 surviving, so they have nothing to worry about. And they are on their last legs, both in terms of economy and in terms of timeouts that they have at their disposal, Dreamboat. And dare I say, we are into very choppy waters for Order. They're running out of time.
It is crunch time. Timeout number 4 used, as you said, for Order, and this is looking really rough for them. Similar to what happened on Cash, their T side is non-existent. They're down 6 rounds in a row to Tainted Minds. I think it was 7 or 8 in a row that were won on Cash, and that would put Tainted on match and series point if that were to follow through here.
They won 8 straight on Cash, and it looks like they are wanting to repeat that. They're on 6 so far. If they repeat it, 8 straight rounds, they will be on match point and left Order in a lot of disarray. It looks like Order are only wanting to perhaps only claim bodies and try to get the bomb down, but with the armor and utility investment, they may be just wanting to win the round outright. But imagine with only a Glock to contend with, it's probably the truest test of Order's power as a team in terms of this map.
Oh, and here's the thing. Look, Yam boosted a player up in ramp. That's Burn. He's up on the box. If they don't check this, they walk into Yam. Yam gets one kill. But Burn from above finds one. Can he find more? No, they haven't pushed out yet. He'll drop down. We'll find Alistair. Burn looking for a third on his Sicko. He's going to get that one too. Absolutely brilliant play from Burn off the boost. And it is just, imagine again, he's in vents right now. And Zeus just spotted him and will remove his head. Tainted take their 14th. 2 rounds away from closing out the series.
That vent ended up turning into a grave site. Sorry about that. And Burn with a play that Batman would be very proud of. Sitting on top of the boost, then promptly wiping out the potential attack from Order. But they do have the full loss bonus kicking in. They have the full buy on their side. And Order will try to prevent any more anarchy from occurring at the hands of Tainted Minds. But this is definitely last chance saloon. It's essentially one and done.
Yam up above with the AWP looking to wreak havoc. But it looks like it's going to be a hit through the In's in a great spot. Will find Leas. That was the first challenge. Alistair's out trying to support him. But there's 3 kills right now for Tainted. Alistair's chimed back in with another kill. It's 2 for him in the round, but it is now just Sicko. Sprays down Yam. He has Offnu and Burn starting to condense. Time is going to be great. Burn peeks out, wins the duel, and Tainted are on map and series point, looking to punch their ticket to the final of the Oceanic qualifiers.
And it will be a true test. They went on a hot streak coming into the series. That was 64-1 across 4 maps in terms of round score. This is their first true test of the entire bracket, and they are passing with flying colors, with 1 map win under their belt and 1 round away from going to the grand finals of the FACEIT Major Oceanic Open Qualifier for the Asia Minor.
And this is all to play for. All marbles. Will they win it? I just don't know, man.
4 and 3 frags remaining. Yam and Offnu are aiming to contribute. Now Order have to muster all of their inner strength to try and reply. Hats will do so. And Hats will do so with 2. Offnu will take out his right-hand man, and imagine the dynamic duo of Liaz and Hats are all that remains. A 2 versus 2. A 4K for Hats thus far. And Burn with 2 men to find. He is on the lower bomb site. The bomb is down outside. I am unsure as to whether he is aware of this fact. He is looking for a head to pop with a bullet from his AK-47. He's currently moving in through ramp room and in through radio. And moving into 30 seconds, the bomb is not even being looked at. It's still down by silo, and perhaps Order are unaware. They're running out of time, and if Burn catches the bomb carrier, this could be all. We're running into 15 seconds. The bomb is now on the back of Hats. Burn will take down said bomb carrier. Now it is a 1 versus 1 between Burn and Liaz. Liaz is running away to try to get to the bomb site. He's on 4 seconds. The bomb will only just go down. The duel will resume between Liaz and Burn.
1v1 right now. Burn opens up the door. He spots out the player. There's so much damage. Lias is so hurt. This could be it. Burn looking for it. He'll find it. Tainted winning the map, winning the series. If Burn can find the bomb. He doesn't see it. He finally sees it. There we go. But Tainted Minds win the series, eliminate Order, and punch their ticket to the finals. What a series and what a performance from Tainted Minds.
Light the torch, light the cauldron, and light the bonfire. Burn will punch their ticket into the grand finals off of the 2-0 series win for Tainted Minds, and the mind of the masses will be better knowing for that fact. 16-14 on Cash and a 16-8 on Nuke will conclude our series and conclude our coverage of the semi-finals. And We will be back with the grand finals very, very soon. My name has been Justin, aka Cyberwaste. I have been with Dreamboat, and we will return. We will return very, very shortly on CappingTV for our coverage of the FACEIT Oceanic Open Qualifier for the Asia Minor.